Hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Jonathan Cohn, and today I have my book review of the book Echoes of Honor by David Weber. This is the 8th book in the Honor Harrington series. I've been reading through this series over the last couple of years. We started out with, just to tell you briefly about it, the On Basilisk Station, that's really hard to say, which is the first book in the series. I loved it. Thought it was a great opening to the series. Then we had books 2 and 3, The Honor of the Queen and The Short Victorious War, and they were okay. They didn't enamor me or blow me away. And then we had Field of Dishonor, which is my favorite book in the series thus far. This is a top-tier science fiction novel. This is how you write military sci-fi. I loved it from cover to cover. This is in my all-time sci-fi books list. It's great. Then I read the book Flag in Exile, the 5th one, which is also very, very good. It's about on the same level as On Basilisk Station for me. There's some really interesting character journey here. Then we had Honor Among Enemies, which was fine. I felt it was starting to get a little long here. Then we had In Enemy Hands, which was fine, but it was starting to get long. And you'll notice a pattern with the newest book, Echoes of Honor. I thought it was fine, but it's getting a little long. So let me talk about what worked and didn't work in this book. First of all, just some context. Basically in this book, Honor Harrington was captured by the People's Republic of Haven and the end of the last book. And there was an escape attempt, and she and her crew got stranded on the planet Hell, or Hades, which is a prison planet. And so nobody from Haven knows they're there. However, Haven broadcast to the world, or not to the world, to the universe, that they had executed Honor Harrington, and they used manipulated footage to do it. So everybody back in Manticore and Grayson and all that, they think Honor Harrington's dead. That's the pitch for the book, and Honor Harrington isn't dead. She's actually alive, and she is trying to escape Hell. And if you're like, oh, you just spoiled stuff, it's literally on the back cover. All I just said is literally on the back cover. So, because of that, that's the basic setup of the book. And so you have a couple of different plot lines going on. The book is split up into 6 parts. You have the odd-numbered parts are focused on other characters, either people from Manticore or people from Haven. So that would be parts 1, 3, and 5. But then parts 2, 4, and 6 in this book focus on Honor Harrington and her team, which is trying to escape Hell. And so you have the back and forth. And some of the stuff, particularly in part 1, where you see things from the people of Manticore's perspective, you see the Admiralty. They just lost probably one of their best commanders, if not definitely their best. Honor Harrington's amazing. They lost her. And then also you see like her parents. How did they react to the death of their daughter? Also, Honor Harrington was a steading holder, which is a huge job, a huge governmental responsibility and leadership position. And who inherits that title now? Because it's a monarchy, it's an inherited title. Who gets that now? It's a huge deal. And all that stuff about what they're going to do now that Honor is dead, quote, she's dead. We know she's not dead, but they don't, is all incredibly fascinating. And you might say, oh, well, we know she's alive, so it doesn't matter. No, that stuff was really interesting. Then you have the Honor Harrington stuff where she is trying to get off of Hell. And I loved the stuff with her. You basically see her build her forces. You see her strategize for what they're going to do to try to get off of Hell, who they're going to ally with, how they're going to trick the Havenites and stuff. It's all brilliant. I loved all that stuff. That's in parts 2, 4, and 6. But then you have parts 3 and 5, which are primarily the story of Haven, the Havenites, who are realizing something's up. Part 3 is really seeing how the people of Haven are building their navy and preparing to ship out to attack the Manticore, and then also talking about how they manipulated footage, and then part 5 is them realizing, hey, something's going on Hell. And parts 3 and 5 were so boring, and should have been cut. If you cut out parts 3 and 5, which would have been 150, 200 pages of the book, if you had cut that part out and instead streamlined it to, at the beginning of the book, you explained the context of, everything that's happened, and then you spend the rest of the book just with Honor and her team, the book would have been 150, 200 pages shorter, and it would have been streamlined, and it would have been really awesome. Instead, the book is clunky, and it's not really the most entertaining. It feels tedious. That's the word I would describe with this book. It's fun. I mean, it's an interesting story, but it's tedious. You want to have fun stories. One of the things that makes Field of Dishonor works so well is that it is less than 400 pages long, and it breezes through. There is nothing unnecessary in this book. It is very much, what story do you need to tell? Boom, that's in the book. And so it's very frustrating that it's become, let's make this an all-encompassing story, and let's add in all the characters of the universe. No, you need to be thriller-level writing styles. There are some novels that work excellently as 800, 900 pages, 1,000 pages, 1,200 pages. You know, The Wheel of Time, for me, some people it doesn't work for. Most people agree. The Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere books, like the Stormlight Archive, that those are worth it at 1,200 pages. Like, if you have the story as tight and as exciting throughout, then a book can get away with that length. This is 700 pages, so about half that length, and it felt more tedious than a Stormlight Archive book at times. So that's the thing that, you have to make it interesting throughout if you're going to make it this long. And the next book is about the same length as this one, but then after that, this series gets into the 1,000-page territory. And if this is a indicator of the rest of the series, I'm going to be very frustrated because I want to continue the series because I love the character of Honor Harrington. I love Admiral Whitehaven. He's a great character. I love Alistair McKeon, and I love reading about Howard Clinkscales. And so there's a lot of characters I'm invested in, and the world building I'm invested in, and I want to see Manticore finally beat Haven if that ever happens. And however, if the books are going to get incredibly tedious, I'm not going to rush into reading the next one and the next one and the next one, and that's a problem. So that's generally like the what worked, what didn't work in the book. There's some great themes about what you do with the time that's given to you. There's some great themes about, don't just wait for the iron to be hot to strike, but rather make it hot by striking it, if you understand that metaphor. There's a lot of great themes like that in this book. So this is an example of there's so much greatness to be had in this book, and you just have to, power through the stuff that's not so great. And so that's why I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10, which is a respectable, good rating. This could have easily been an 8 or 9 out of 10 had it been less tedious and shorter. So that is those are my general thoughts on Echoes of Honor. Again, I really enjoyed it. I want to continue the series eventually, but because of how I know the series is going to go down and how I know what the series is like with this, I'm not scheduling it next month. It'll be a couple more months before I get to it. And same happened with this, was at the beginning of the series, I was reading boom, 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 book a month for the first 4 books. And then I started slowing down, and I'm getting even slower. So I hope to read more, but it just depends on how my mood is. So that is my review of Echoes of Honor. If you've read this book, let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. If you want to know some information about the series, let me know, or about David Weber's writing style or anything, let me know those questions. If you have thoughts on his other book series, tell me, hey, I recommend this one instead. Let me know all that in the comments, and until next time, I'm Jonathan, and thank you for watching.